So, good morning. Today we will discuss about Indian language computing. Last class we discussed about softwares, open source softwares. So, what is the why we need to learn more about Indian language computing? What is the complexity? What are the complexities in Indian language computing? Okay, in English script there is one-to-one correspondence between what you type, what you store, and what you display. In a computer, basically, the data is stored, or data we handle data in three operations basically for input operation, for storing the data, and for output operation. So, what you input, what you enter is that is stored, and what is stored that will be displayed or printed. That is what basic idea of language computing is. Now, what you store and what you display. Now, it is linearly mapped according to the character set in English script. If you say English is a script, then there are many languages of this script. American English, UK English, different according to the country they have their own type of language, but they basically use the script that is English script. The number of alphabet that the characters they use for their language is English script, is all are of English script. And the basic idea of English script is that it is linearly mapped. What you enter is that is what stored, and that you will get displayed in the output. Now, according to the character set, it does not grow vertically like Devanagari or Arabic scripts. In Devanagari script, Indian language script, in Indian scripts or Indic scripts, these are known as Devanagari is one of the script, and Arabic script also. In those scripts, it is not that easy to map the characters linearly. Okay, it is not that easy to map the characters linearly, which necessarily means that if A is inputted from the keyboard, then internally the code of A is, which is 65, and in ASCII it is stored, while displaying it again converted to the character A. That means what you enter, what you see, you enter, that is A, but what it stores is a value 65, and when you get it displayed, it again converted to A, and you get it printed or you get it displayed, the character A. That process is called coding and encoding. Okay, coding means the character is converted to its digital form, to its numeric form. It is stored in computer, and when you get it displayed, when you want it as output, it again convert the digital form to character form. That is called decoding. Okay, coding and decoding. Then, so the complexity in Indian language is that life is not as simple as English while using Indian languages. We have in India, we have more than 22 languages are there, and they have their own character set, they have their own set of symbols. So, due to the highly complex structure of Indian languages, there is no one-to-one correspondence between what you store and what you display, character code or the font code. Character code means it comprising of all the type of character, the special characters, the punctuation characters, not only we use all alphanumeric characters. Okay, while inputting something, while going to store in computer, we are not only using alphanumeric character. As you can find in your keyboard, there are more, there are some special characters are there, there are some punctuation characters are there. So, it is not that easy. If we think about Indian language, it is not that easy to use a computer for inputting, storing, and getting the output in Indian language. Okay, though it is easy in English like language or English language. Now, then comes the character encoding. Okay, what is character encoding? As I told, the conversion of encoding means the conversion of the character into its digital form, because when the computer is used to store the data, that is the data means in the form of a set of characters, they are going to store it in the digital form. Okay. So, the characters, how the encoding, what are the advantage of such type of encoding? It is easy to use, encoding type of storing characters and using the characters, it is easy to use. We do not need to know how it stores, in what digital form it stores. Why it say easy to use? We do not need to know how it, what is the digital value of the character, what it stores internally. What we press on the keyboard, the character is displayed A. So, when we press A, the number that is going to store internally, that is the value of binary value of the 65, that is what store for the as a representation for the character A. And when you get it displayed, again that character, that digital form of the character is read and converted into its character form, that is A, and displayed on the screen or get it printed on the printer. Now, easy for the purpose, easy for the people to understand. It is obviously easy to understand. We do not need to remember anything. We see the characters in front of us, in front on the keyboard printed. We just use it. Then easy to provide solution on existing technology. It is also easy to provide any type of solution. So, that is, this is the character encoding is highly used in the initial days of when the use of computer is limited, the different languages for which the computers are used are limited. So, this is one of the, this gives one of the advantage, character encoding. And nowadays, because in everyday life we cannot live without internet, whatever we do, for that we need the help of internet. So, if it is if we want the internet to be helpful to a large number of people, then we have to consider that all the peoples are not that literate to on the language English. Okay, we can say 10% of the people of India can speak in can understand English, and 5% people of India can write and speak and English. Okay, so in that aspect, if you say that, but 80 to 70 to 80% of people of India use internet. Now, how they are going to use internet? Because whatever we see in internet, that is in English like form, that is in English language. Now, if everything in English language, they have to input in English language, they will get the output in English language, then how they are going to use internet? So, that is what the challenge is, and because of this we go for this Indian language computing. That means, we want to use the internet, what we see, what we are going to enter, we all want in our language, in our own language, regional language. Okay, so that internet can be used and lot of people can get benefit out of it. Okay. So, this is the basic idea of Indian language computing is, and not only for Indian language computing, it is the English language is not entirely used throughout the world. They have their regional language. So, Chinese people, they use Chinese language. So, according to the character, this necessity of language computing comes. Now, what is the disadvantage? Why this type of encoding, character encoding is what is used in initial days, why it is avoided, why it is not used no more now? What are the disadvantages? It is proprietary to the developer, it is proprietary to the developer. That means, using this encoding, character encoding for different other type of language, not like English language. For other type of language, for character encoding, it needs a proprietary to the developer. That means, whoever you have to install a software, encoding is performed by the help of a software. Okay, that software you have to install in your computer, and that software, by using that software, you can use your language. Okay, you can input your language, you can input the data in your language, and you can get it also in your language. That in order to use that software, you have to purchase it. It's not a open source software, it is one of the proprietary software, and the developer, you have to take permission from the developer, you have to purchase the license of those softwares, proprietary to the developer. Then standards like ISO font encoding standards are seldom used, and which leads to problems in printing and displaying. Okay, ISO standard is not followed because it is not a standard, it is not a standard software, it is not standardized, it is not for everyone. So, it does not follow the ISO font encoding. Then limited searching capability. Now, it has limited searching capability. That means, if you are going to search something on internet, okay, now you are going to search according to your language. What you want to search, you write it in your language, but but how it is going to search it in the database it is present, the data is present in the database from where you are going to search, it may present in English like form, then how it is going to search it, how it is going to compare that what you are going to search. If the data from where it is going to search, it can be converted again to the language what you are searching for, then it is easy. So, that is one of the disadvantage. Then sorting is not possible, sorting is not, no special type of operation is possible. You only what you can do by using this encoding, character encoding, you install a software and you can do, you can input the data, you can see the data, but no other sort of operation like searching and sorting are possible. Okay, these are the disadvantages, and may not create unique spelling. It may not create unique spelling, like P, for the character P it may be P, or for the character P it may be, after encoding it may be PA. Okay. So, it is not a unique spelling. Then converters are required to convert the data to any other format which may result in loss of data. Okay. Then converter is required to convert the data to any other format. Now, if you want, because you are using a software for character encoding, because you are using a software for encoding, as I told, now no extra sort of operations are possible on that. If you want any extra sort of operation on your language, then you have to use another converter, okay, for that. So, these are all the disadvantages of character encoding, and because of this comes the Unicode format. Because of this, the developers, the IT people think that we should go for one standard coding format, that is called Unicode. Okay, Unicode format. It has a standard defined, and what ASCII is for English. What is the importance? What Unicode is? What is ASCII for English? ASCII language, ASCII is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. That is the basic code, that is a code that is used for English, that is a standard code used for the English whenever you use computer. In that ASCII code, the value of A is 65. We say the ASCII value of A is 65. That means it is defined that in ASCII code the value A, the character English character A is stored as 65 in the digital form, in the binary form. Now, like in the whole computer world, ASCII is the code for English language. Similarly, Unicode is for all other language in the world. When there is no language computing, when there is nobody thought about the language computing, the computers are used only in English language. In that time, ASCII is the character code that is initially used, and nowadays also ASCII, maybe ASCII EBCDIC may be used nowadays, that is ASCII uses for character 7-bit, it uses 7-bit of 7-bit to store the character value, and EBCDIC is another code that use 8-bit to store the character value. So, similarly, like ASCII for English, Unicode is for other language. Now, by using Unicode we can represent any number of language, because in a Unicode system, a character can be represented in 16-bit. A character can be represented in 16-bit, and in 16-bit how many combinations of character, by combining the bits, 16 number of bits, how many possible characters we can represent? That is 2 to the power 16, that is something around 65,000 number of characters. Now, you think if 65,000 number of characters can be represented in an Unicode system, then I think, and we understand that all the languages throughout the world, whatever language present, all can be encoded in this Unicode system. But by using ASCII, we only can represent 128 number of character, okay, because it use 7 bits. Using EBCDIC that use 8-bit, we can represent only 256 number of character. But by using 16-bit in Unicode system, by using 16-bit to represent a character, the number of character that can be represented for all the languages throughout the world, whatever the language may be, they have their different characters. That is 65,000 number of characters, and it enables seamless exchange of data, desktop printers, database browsers and devices, because now internet is worldwide used. Okay, internet is worldwide used, different peoples of different languages interact with them, communicate with them, share the data. So, it is vastly required. Okay, a standard which can be easily convertible to one language to another language, okay, and that is what the common standard is Unicode system. Now, Unicode consortium, there is a Unicode consortium. So, who takes care of this Unicode system? There is a Unicode consortium. Unicode is a universal character encoding. Unicode is universal character encoding throughout the world. Any character can be represented in this Unicode system, and it is maintained by Unicode consortium. And this encoding standard provides the basis for processing, storage, and interchange of text data in any language. In any language, I said, in all modern software and information technology protocols. Okay, because we use internet, we cannot do anything without the use of internet. So, if it is available in my language, in my own regional language, then it will be comfortable for me, and I can do whatever I want by using the computer, by using internet. Now, it is a superset of all the languages, because it is able to represent 65,000 number of characters. So, we can say it is a superset of all the characters. Okay, jitna bhi language hai in throughout the world, the whatever may be the number of language, whatever may be the combination of character sets, all can be represented in this. So, this is called a superset of all the languages in the world, which also includes not only the characters, alphabets and numbers, it also includes punctuations, special characters, the shapes, the brackets, like we have different types of brackets, different shapes in the keyboard you can find, currency symbols, mathematical symbols, etc. Now, using Unicode, more than 65,000 different characters can be represented, and Unicode comprises of many code pages. Okay, because you think that 65,000 characters represented. So, it is going to be a vast dictionary of the characters and their values. Okay. Now, Unicode is 16-bit character, I already have told you, and these UTF-8 various encoding schemes to represent. These are the various encoding schemes used for the representation of Unicode characters, that is UTF-8, UTF-16 and UTF-32, universal transformation format, Okay, UTF-8, 16 and 32, it uses 8-bit, that uses 16-bit, that uses 32-bit for representation, combination of bits for representation of a character. Now, what are the advantages of Unicode system? Why we need to go? You understand what are the advantages? Let us point out what are the advantages. The character based encoding, it is character based. Any language in the throughout the world, any language can be encoded in this system, and Unicode values are governed by characters, vowels and consonants. It can be ported to any platform or any OS. That is one of the advantages I told, that if there is a software that is been designed, that is been developed for a specific language, and that language is not supported by the computer, any sort of computer, then those not supported by any set of software or the operating system, the platform on which the software is going to work, then that is of no use. So, in order to make your software available to globally, so that more people can use it, you need a system that can be converted to your software can be converted to the any regional language. So, can be ported to any platform or any OS. It can be ported on handheld and mobile devices. You also can find that the Unicode system is not only available in computers, it is also available in handheld devices like mobile devices. We can get the data in mobile devices while browsing internet. We can change the language, we can change the language of any page. Okay. You can change the language of anything you want if that is designed according to the Unicode system. Unicode system is available for that, and different scripts have different code pages, and all Indian languages are supported along with all other languages, not only Indian languages. So, the most complex type of language is in India. Throughout the world, if you see, the most number of language, okay, and the complexity in the languages are present in India. So, it is accommodated. So, all other languages are also accommodated with it. Now, it allows multiple languages in the same data. These are the advantages of Unicode system. Then we will discuss about the different type. There are two types of fonts. Fonts means characters. Okay, character faces are called fonts. Like you must have, if you are using computers and used it for the purpose of documentation, you must know about the Arial, Times New Roman, Vardhana. These are the type font face. So, there are two different types of font faces available. One is called open type and the other is called true type fonts. Okay. Now, we will discuss what are the differences between this open type font and true type font. open type fonts OTF, the extension of such a file which is having the coding about all the open type of fonts, that is with the extension OTF. Okay, with the extension OTF. Open type is a cross platform font file format developed jointly by Adobe and Microsoft. It was a cross platform font file format developed by Adobe and Microsoft. Adobe and Microsoft in the years 90s, in the 1990s, Adobe and Microsoft combinedly, because Adobe is basically a designer software that is used for the design, making the design, making the all type of designing kind of thing. So, that Adobe with Microsoft, and most of the softwares available in the market are of Microsoft. So, they combinedly design this type of font that is called open type, and it is a cross platform. Cross platform means if you are using it in one operating system, if you have used something, you have written something in one operating system, you take it to some other operating system also, that will not change. Okay. Now, the two benefits of the open type of formats are its cross platform compatibility, which can be used both in Macintosh and Windows platform. Macintosh, it can be used in Macintosh operating system and also Windows operating system, and without conversion, without you need to do not need to convert it to by using any converter, and its ability to support widely expanded character sets, that is 65,000 number of character sets, because it is based on Unicode system. Now, open type fonts are used commonly today on the major computer platforms. Okay. Basically, open type font is used nowadays. Then what is a true type font? True type font was a joint effort by Apple. It was before comes the open type of font comes. True type font, these are the extension, the abbreviation is TTF, true type font, and the file that comprises of such type of font is with the extension TTF. True type font comes before the open type of font, and it was in the early 1980s. Okay, and it was a joint venture between Apple and Macintosh, Apple and Microsoft. Apple and Microsoft, those companies decided to use a font for coding, that is true type font, that support true type font, several years after the release of PostScript font format. PostScript font format is basically designed by Adobe. Now, true type fonts contains both the screen and printer font font data in a single component, making the font easier to install. One of the advantage of this true type font is that it is easy to install, and it contains fonts what you see on the screen, display screen, that is the character that you get printed. Okay, there will be no change. What you see on the screen, that will get printed. That is called true type font, and there will be no change. So, for this reason, true type font is a good choice for those who have limited experience in working with and installing fonts. If somebody has no idea how to install the font, if somebody has no idea how to work with different types of fonts, then this font is the best for them. Whatever they see, that is what get printed. So, there will be no change in the font face. True type fonts or TTF are clearly readable at any size. They are clearly readable at any size. Because of that, TTFs are good for all around files for both on screen viewing and printing purpose. This is advantage. But nowadays, open type font is used. These are used since 80s to 90s. This type of fonts used, but mostly nowadays open type of font is used after that, which supports Unicode formats. Now, what is a static and dynamic font? This is another aspect of font what we use. What is static and dynamic font? Static means, we understand, static means what the thing which do not change over time, that is static, fixed over a period of time. And dynamic means the thing which is changed time to time, which changes, that is called dynamic basically. So, what is the difference between static and dynamic fonts? Static fonts, in this type of fonts, the characters are designed and digitized. The characters are designed and digitized and then stored in font files. They are stored in font files, and every time printing takes place, the same character will appear with same shape, and these examples are Times New Roman and Arial. the type of font we use while using a computer. Okay. While making a document, preparing a document, the type of font we use, these are called the static fonts. What you see on the screen, what size you see on the screen, that is the size of the font, and if you get printed, that will get printed. That is called a static font. They never change. That font never change. Or if you send that font also, if you send any document in that font, then when it is delivered at the recipient, he will also get the same font with the same size. That is called a static font, that they never change. But what a dynamic font is, it is basically used in web browsers. It is used in web browsers. So many browsers are available in nowadays, like Internet Explorer, Google Chrome available, Firefox. Okay. So many browsers are available. In mobile device also we have different types of browsers. Now if all browsers do not support all type of fonts, because it depends on how light or how heavy the browser is. Okay. If a browser we are using in mobile device, that browser cannot have a big file with it. So, because it has a limit of storage, mobile device has a limit in the storage. So, in that case the browser what it support, the font supports is limited. So, what happens while using web browsers, the character we see on one browser, the same character you may not find in the same font in another browser, or if you send it to somebody, he gets it in another browser, he may not get the same font there. Because that character will not change, the A will remain A, but the font face will change. If suppose I say example, you sent it with Times New Roman, now the browser with the recipient has a browser which do not support Times New Roman. Okay. Now what will happen, whatever font supported by the recipient browser, your character is converted to that font automatically and dynamically. You do not have to, data will transfer, data he can see, but the font face what you sent is changed there, because that browser does not support the font what you have sent. So, okay. So, it dynamically change and automatically change, user has nothing to do, because if it is using a browser, it must have support of a particular font, whatever the font may be. Okay. So, that is called dynamic font. It is a web browser technology used when visiting any website that uses font which are not installed on client machine. Okay. Now the web browser would not able to display the page properly, but will select one of the fonts available in the client machine. Whoever the recipient, the client is, who get the file, whatever font available with that machine. Okay, your font is translated into that font. Okay. So, data will not lost, but the font will change, that is called a dynamic font. So, this is about the basic idea of font, static and dynamic font. Then comes the entering language text. Now, this is one of the important aspect, because when we enter the text, either we use the input devices like keyboards or we use the microphones. Okay, maybe because the form of input when you are giving to the computer, it may be in the form of voice or in the form of text. So, accordingly when we there are two type of things, phonetic text entry and key map text entry. You can say entering data of different languages into the computer, they have two aspects, phonetic text entry and key map entry. What is phonetic text entry? Phonetic text entry means it is a text entry which is based on pronunciation, because it is a voice entry. Whatever you say according to your pronunciation of the word or of the sentence, it is converted to a data. Okay. So, according to a pronunciation, if you say suppose pa, then it may be p or pa. If you say pa, it may be paa or pa. So, according to the pronunciation, according to the voice with which you speak, okay, and the notes of the voice, it makes the character, it makes the say word or sentence, it identify the word or sentence, that is called phonetic text entry, and the text translation is done by the software according to the pronunciation of the entered text. Now, whatever you say, there is a software identify your voice, and according to the your pronunciation of the word or sentence, it convert it to the text, okay, then stored in computer. The another type is key map text entry. Now, what is key map text entry? You may find that you are using this keyboard. Normally the keyboards are having the English alphabets, English characters, but if I am going to use Hindi, I am going to work in Hindi, using my keyboard I want to work in Hindi. That what I can do, I can use, there are two ways. I can use either a software that give me a virtual keyboard on the screen, in which the Hindi characters are printed. There I can choose my characters what I want to enter. As I press in the keyboard, there also I can select by using the mouse what are the characters, and I can enter the text. The another way is that the characters on the keyboard can be converted permanently by you installing a software, can be converted permanently to some other characters of your own language, okay, and those characters are printed in imprinted on the keyboard. You must have seen some keyboards, they do not have the English characters. Over the English characters, some other language characters are printed and pasted. You do not have to use the virtual keyboard, you just use your keyboard and you can enter the data, and the software supported, the conversion is made by a software that is installed on the system. This is called key map text entry. Console or keyboard keys are mapped to explicit characters utilizing a key map, that is called key map. The character A is converted in Hindi, it is converted to A, okay, maybe A, okay, A and A. So, A and A, these characters if you may find over the key that is representing A, that is called key mapping, okay. A character A in English, it is converted to A or A. Then traditional keyboards that have English keys are used to enter the text. Any keyboard, as I told, you may use a virtual keyboard. Over the screen you find the keyboard, you enter the text, or your keyboard is imprinted with your regional language characters, and that you can use. That is called key map text entry. So, these are the two ways how we can enter language, different language of text into a computer for the purpose of language computing. So, that is it. Thank you.